stars rumored to be terrible lovers and other stars who are spectacular. Maintaining a private life is difficult. So if you plan on getting famous, you better start practicing your bedroom skills, because the world will soon know where you fall on the spectrum of sexual superiority. Here are some stars rumored to be terrible lovers, and some said to be spectacular.
Terrible. 50 Cent. If you grow up listening to rap like I did, you tend to come away with the perception that every rapper is endowed with godlike bedroom skills and enormous proportions below the belt. Most of them mention it at least once per song. Hell, the first time my parents brought up the subject of condoms with me, my response was, I thought those were called magnums. So when you hear about a hip-hop superstar failing to satisfy, it throws you for a loop. Like, for example, I never would have guessed that 50 Cent ranks as a 3 out of 10 on the mattress. But that's what one exotic dancer gave him. 50, according to the stripper, was as nervous as a 14-year-old boy. The woman had to initiate everything. She also said he's definitely not packing and probably doesn't even measure 6 inches. Doesn't sound like a candy shop or a magic stick to me. Terrible. Brad Pitt. When you think about men who have everything, few names surface to the top of the list faster than Brad Pitt. Sure, his wife just left him, but what's one woman who doesn't want you when the planet has about 3.5 billion others who do? Maybe the hordes of women swooning over Brad need to sit down and have a talk with Robin Givens or Juliette Lewis. Givens had a fling with Brad before her famous and tumultuous marriage to Mike Tyson. She later said that Brad couldn't give her the big O, but Mike could. Then in 2013, a National Enquirer reporter spotted Lewis in a Seattle bar and asked about her relationship with Brad in the early 90s. Clearly tipsy, the actress responded that he was no big deal in bed, apparently a reference to his less than impressive anatomical dimensions. Continuing the pun theme, the reporter then asked if Brad was the Pitts, to which Lewis smiled and nodded. Spectacular. Tiger Woods. Thousands of women can't be wrong. The notorious philanderer, despite having a supermodel wife at home, slept with everything from adult film stars to Perkins waitresses. A few of Tiger Woods' paramours dished the details to Howard Stern and other purveyors of celebrity scuttlebutt. The reviews were glowing across the board. One mistress stated she'd also been with Michael Jordan, but that Tiger was bigger and better. Another raved that the golfer knows his way around the bedroom. One chick summed it up even more pithily: Tiger's wood was 9 inches. And here we were thinking it was Tiger's money that all these women were after, when adult film stars, most of whom have seen a few knobs in their lives, and not small ones, are complimenting his size and skill. We'll take their word that Tiger's golf bag isn't the only place he's packing a Big Bertha. Terrible. Leonardo DiCaprio. He's good looking, rich, talented, cares about the environment, and at long last, an Oscar winner. Is there anything at all for chicks not to like about Leonardo DiCaprio? Well, how about the fact that he might be a total creep between the sheets? This little tidbit comes from the autobiography of Bobby Brown. If you're male and had testosterone in your body in 1990, you probably remember Admiral Winky standing at attention when the blonde beauty gyrated around in Warren's Cherry Pie video. Leo, that lucky SOB, scored with Brown in 1995, and she wrote about it in her 2013 tell-all, Dirty Rocker Boys. First, the good, Brown had just broken up with Tommy Lee, and yet she still was shocked, in a good way, when Leo whipped out for the first time. But then things got weird. Leo began acting way too sappy and clingy for a one-night stand, and at one point even serenaded her with TLC's Waterfalls. Weirdo. Spectacular. Justin Bieber. We were as surprised as you to discover that Justin Bieber brings the thunder down under. It isn't so much the size, though a well-publicized nude photo of the Biebs appeared to show some impressive dimensions in the flaccid state. Here's why pictures can be deceiving, though. Bieber's a small guy, probably 150 pounds, soaking wet after Thanksgiving dinner, so even an average member is going to look big juxtaposed with such a small backdrop. Take Bieber's hug and put it on Shaq's body, and we doubt it looks so impressive. Whether he's big or average, it's the skill that matters, and according to at least one lucky lady, the Biebs has got it. During a 2013 South American excursion, Bieber allegedly knocked boots with Brazilian model Tati Neves, who later had this to say about the experience: "Take it from me, he's well endowed, and very good in bed." terrible. Charlie Sheen took over the internet for a few months back in 2011 with his claims of winning. If you define winning as getting fired from the most lucrative TV deal in history and putting your borderline mental illness on display for the world to see, even with his career falling apart, he still pulled chicks in legendary quantities, at least until being diagnosed with the king of all STDs a few years later. But after hearing what ex-wife Denise Richards had to say about Sheen's proficiency with the horizontal mambo, it stands to reason that most of Sheen's women were there for the financial rewards and not to be pleasured. Sheen, according to Richards, only cared about his own pleasure, and her satisfaction was of no concern to him. She also didn't like his habit of playing adult films while they made love. We're guessing her displeasure stemmed from the fact that Sheen has slept with most of the women in that industry. Spectacular. Donald Trump. In the Oval Office he may not have a clue, but down the hall, in the bedroom, Donald Trump is a virtuoso. Just ask his ex-wife, Marla Maples. She sat on the presidential staff from 1993 until 1999, when she was married to the future leader of the free world. Apparently she enjoyed the role. The New York Post interviewed the diva about her bedroom life with Donald, and her assessment was frank: best sex of my life. Maybe GOP challenger Marco Rubio should have pulled that article from the archives before he tried to impugn Trump's bona fides. During a rally in Roanoke, Virginia, Rubio made a crack about Trump's purportedly small hands, and then followed it up with, "You know what they say about men with small hands." Trump isn't having it. At the ensuing GOP debate, Trump, after acknowledging Rubio's remarks, guaranteed the audience there was no problem with his manhood.